Welcome everybody. Today's video, we are back over here at Si Thep, and I'm right here in front of the moat. And I came over here today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit more about this ruin. I made a video over here about 3 months ago or so, and I've been getting a lot of comments and stuff like that from people on the video because of the way I titled it. And I'm going to go over why I did that and kind of show you around and explain a little bit more to you. So let's see what it looks like inside today. So Si Thep itself is a unique design. You can see right here it has two sections. It's the only old city that's built like this. It has one section that has a moat and a wall, and it's circular. And then they added a second extension around of the wall, and they made a rectangle on a backside. So it's actually broke into an inner and an outer part of the old town. So inside the wall, there are a bunch of ruins. There's little ponds a little bit, but let's look at a couple of these small little ruins here, and then we'll go into the park. You can see here's one of the examples of the small little ruins. And you can see the laterite stones. They use these as little columns out here. And then they would have had their shrine inside. Now this was the old part right here, and they think this inner sanctum was more of the religious and the higher end. So the new section that they built on the back, they believe was for more of the common people. But you can see all these ruins. They all have the same use of these laterite stones and various ages of them also. But the ones in the old part over here, they're the older. And that's where the main ruins are. We'll go look at those now. Okay, when you come in, it's 100 baht for a foreigner and 20 baht for the Thais. You also have to pay a 20 baht fee to park. Now, a lot of the people that were commenting on my video can only say that this is Dvaravati or mound. But right here, this is actually what the Thai government says. So it says that there were, it was prehistoric approximately 2,000 years ago. The local village societies gradually developed into urban societies under the influence of Dvaravati culture from the 7th to the 11th century and ancient Khmer culture from the 11th to the 13th century AD. Now that is actually what the Thai government is advertising. Yes, we'll walk over here. Let's look in the little visitor center. It was closed last time and they had a little museum stuff, so hopefully we can look at that. And it's just right here by the gate. Now, whenever I was thinking about this video, I went and I got onto the UNESCO site, because this is a tentative UNESCO heritage site. And the UNESCO heritage site application is pretty vague, because it keeps saying Khmer-like, but it also says about this was connected to Lopburi and to Pimai. Now, Lopburi was an important town in the Lavo kingdom, which was the Dvaravati, and it was its own independent kingdom, and it eventually was captured or conquered or annexed by the Khmer. The Khmer sent a princess over here, and the king married her, and then they were part of the Khmer Empire. And it was actually a stronghold of the Khmer. We have the little cars here that you can take and go into the park, but I don't want to get on that just yet. I want to look over here at some of the things I missed last time. Now with Lopburi becoming Khmer, it was a major town. And there's a lot of Khmer as well as Dvaravati ruins inside of Lopburi. It was also an important city for Ayutthaya. So when you think of Lopburi, I mean, it was a Dvaravati settlement, it was Khmer, it was under the Ayutthaya kingdom, but it is a modern Thai town. So I would say Lopburi is a modern Thai city. But when you look at the ruins, like what Maha had and a few of the others, then you know, you see the Khmer, you see the Dvaravati, you see everything in the construction. So here we have all the laterite stones. We have like the door jambs here. Here's a lintel. All of this would have been the Khmer style. Now the Si Thep, they do say that it has a Si Thep art that is unique to here. They did some cool different things. This was probably like an artisan place where they would maybe like experiment or something like that. So you got some of the feet, some of the parts were, this was all Hindu stuff here where they'd have like the, like that little staff of, or that little stone of Shiva, and they would pour water on it. The Shiva lingua stones, I think they call them. So they have also right here. So this is what they say right here. So the timeline of Si Thep. So you go to the late prehistoric period. So this was, you know, like an ancient settlement. Then it was Dvaravati from the 6th to the 10th century, which was like the Lavo kingdom. And then here is the Khmer period from the 10th to the 12th century AD. So it talks right here about how, you know, the Dvaravati kingdom was absorbed into the Angkor. And it talks about how this gradually lost importance here and was abandoned in the 12th century. So whenever it became the Sukhothai, this city lost importance and it declined and was later abandoned. And then one of the princes came in 1904 and they found the ruins here. What they do have here, these are a couple of replicas of some of the sculptures that they had. This is what you'd say is the Si Thep art style. So these were 7th, 8th century. So these were when the Dvaravati are people that are believed to be, you know, from Mon descent. They were the ones that were ruling this area. And here's the map. And there is also this humongous ruin outside, Khao Kleng Nok. This is a replica, but it's a standing Buddha image in the preaching posture. And this is what they found around that humongous monument, that Khao Kleng Nok. And the original is in Lopburi at the museum there. So I may have to go back over to Lopburi one of these days and see that. So let's jump on the little thing and go into the park. And we'll come up, we'll see 3 ruins here. These are the main ruins. You can see the size of this inner part of the park. All these trees, and then there's some more ruins over here. You can see the bases of all these. Yeah, last time I came, we didn't get to come back around and see all of these. This is kind of cool. So back here, this is one of the pits where they've excavated. So they found these old bodies and some of the pottery. And this, they've been able to date it to where this was continuously inhabited for, you know, around 2,000 years or so. And they have a few displays and stuff, but it's all in Thai. And as you can see, all the ruins out here in the trees. So this predates the Dvaravati. So what people don't understand about my video is 2 things can be true at once. This was a Dvaravati settlement. It was also a Khmer. It was also pre-Dvaravati. I mean, this is an ancient site. And what I chose to focus on was just the Khmer. I just talked about that. I mean, I could have spent 4 hours making a video and talking about the history of every one of these ruins. And so we can see right here. So this is a temple here, and the tour guide in the park said this is about 700 years old, and it was Hindu, and it was the Khmer styling. So you got all the normal stuff that the Khmers had with the little linga stones. You can see how they built the archways, and it would have went up, and they had this smaller one right over here. And you can see the lintel above the door, and then all the laterite stones and everything else. And this one here is right next to the main part of the park. That is this huge Dvaravati ruin over here. You can see some more ruins in here. Yeah, so this park is 100 kilometers north of Lopburi, and it's pretty much just farmland. It's flat ground. So the people in Lopburi, to assume that they would have never came up here, because I've had people say that the Khmer didn't know anything about this place. They said all kinds of things, but clearly this was part of the Khmer sphere of influence. The Khmer used slave labor to expand their empire, and they wouldn't have left a city alone just sitting out here near one of their regional capitals of Lopburi. Also Pimai, there was roads built from Siem Reap to Pimai, and Pimai is not far away from here either. And you can see here, this has all the animal figures. And like I said in my last video, this is all Dvaravati art. Yeah, the people were thinking I'm trying to erase the Mon heritage and the Dvaravati, but I never did that at all. This is all part of it also. This predates any of the Khmer influence, and it's spectacular. It's built very similar to Wat Mueang that's in Ratchaburi. And I've done a video of that also. I've been to that temple. But here it has all these little animal figures and all that in the plaster. Yeah, you can see here. This is really, really cool. Yeah, I had comments talking about how just bad-mouthing the Khmer, denying that the Khmer even existed at all, which I thought was kind of interesting. Just to give you an idea of the size of this. It is absolutely massive. And they built these little awnings here to protect the little plaster murals underneath. It was just absolutely huge. So they did use the laterite stones as the base, same as over here, some of the other smaller little ruins. And this is nice here. This is a replica of the prayer wheel. The original they keep in the Historical Park office. So the original was built about 1100 years ago. Yeah, this is really cool. There's also a couple other, like Nakompa has some Dvaravati styling similar to this, as well as that Prasat Kosa in Lopburi, I believe. And I've seen all of those. Those are all quite cool. Okay, let's go look at this last thing over here. Yeah, with my last video, I had people telling me to die. I had people telling me to get out of Thailand, get out of Asia, and all kinds of stuff. It was quite a few people attacking me whenever I'm just reading about what the Thai government themselves say. So I don't know why there's so much animosity. I understand that there's disputes between Cambodia and Thailand over who has the culture. I'm not pro-Thai, pro-Cambodian, pro-anything. I'm just coming out here looking at these ruins. So it's not fair to me for people to come here and attack me over what it says on the signs. I've showed you what the signs say. Everybody's telling me to get my facts straight. Where did I read that? Well, you know, it's right here in black and white. I've showed you on the signs themselves. Also the tour, like while we're coming up here, the tour person is saying, this is 700 years old, it's Khmer, it's Hindu. This one over here is 900 years old, it's Dvaravati. That's what they're saying. So I don't know what else I can do to defend myself whenever I'm just a guy out here with a camera, and I'm not deserving of people telling me to die at all. So these are replicas of the lingas that goes over the door. And I understand that there's a unique style here, which that's fine, but we do know who the governors were. And as far as the people, because everybody's saying DNA evidence this, DNA that, you know, just because the people were here, I mean, if they were invaded and taken over, the people were still the people living here. So any bodies would still be, you know, the original people that were here. So, you know, the politics, nothing about DNA is going to tell you that. So, you know, if there were people with Mon descent that were here, then they still would have been Mon descent, but they would have been under the Khmer or the Dvaravati or the Lavo, whoever was the political organization in charge. I have a little pond over here. So many of these laterite stones. And then you can see the styling of this one. Yeah, so there's only really 3 main ruins that you can see in here. This is all the inner part, and the outer part is, there's nothing really to see over there. And over here is the massive water storage. So these are the berets, and it's definitely what the Khmer did. The Khmer valued water storage in order to grow their crops, so they built these. So you had the outer wall, you had all the prongs, you had the berets, all of it with, you know, that was just built and expanded on the Dvaravati settlement. And here's a shrine to the old king of Si Thep. It's a replica. The original was stolen. So that's going to finish up our video over here in Si Thep. I wanted to come back over here, make another video, kind of explain my rationale. And like I try to tell everybody, is 2 things can be true at once. Is this was a prehistoric site. It was also a Dvaravati, part of the Lavo kingdom. It was also part of the Khmer, and then it was abandoned. So there was no disrespect intended to any of the Thais. I'm not trying to erase any of Thai history. I'm not trying to be what I've been labeled as a claimbodian. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I just came over here to look at this old temple. I definitely was not deserving of people telling me to go die and everything else. You know who you are, and I'll post a link to this video in my other one. You know, like I said, I came over here, I've looked at Lopburi. I don't call Lopburi a Dvaravati settlement or a Khmer town. It's a modern Thai city. I call this a Khmer town because it was the last people that were in residence. When Pimai and Lopburi lost influence, this place lost all of its trade and was abandoned. That's kind of what happened. That's what the Thai government says. That's what they say on the UNESCO World Heritage application. They also mention the Khmer, they mention the Dvaravati, so did I. And so anyway, I'm just making this so you can see for yourselves. And if you still don't agree with me, that's fine. I just, you know, showing you what I see. And I'm not an expert. I never said I was. And whatever. So anyway, if you like the video, smash the like. If you have any more comments for me, tell me that also. I'll leave the comments open. It's free speech. I can say whatever I want, and so can you. Just be civil. And until next time, from over here in Si Thep, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.